Find the values of the variables. We know that this is congruent to that, but they each have a different variable describing them. One's x and one's y. So if we wrote y minus 3 equals x plus 2, right now it doesn't help us if we don't know what one of the variables is. Luckily, when we look at this side down here, that is congruent to that, they're only using x to describe that. So we can say then 2x plus 11 is equal to, no, sorry, 2x plus 2, I read that wrong, is equal to x plus 11. And it wants us to find the values of the variables and then the lengths of the side. So we first got to find x. So we say, okay, minus x, x plus 2 equals 11, minus 2, x equals 9. We know that that's true, and then we can then plug that in up here to 2x plus 2. Actually, let's use a different color here. If 2x plus 2 equals x plus 11, then 2 times that value of 9 plus 2 equals that value of 9 plus 11. And simplifying it out, we get 18 plus 2 equals 9 plus 11, or 20 equals 20. So that means that this equals 20, this equals 20. Yeah? And now, up here at the top, we already know that we found here what x is. Okay? So for y minus 3 up here, we're going to say y minus 3 equals parentheses 9 plus 2. Or y minus 3 equals 11 plus 3 plus 3. Y equals 14. Aha. Oh, and you know what? My mistake. You probably, I'm sorry, I must have been driving you crazy if you're watching this. This doesn't equal 20, and that doesn't equal 20. Terrible. This equals 20. And this equals 20. That's what we found. Okay. Here, we've got y minus 3. Y minus 3, or 14 minus 3, because if we're looking, we can put this down here and say y minus 3 is what that side is, and we know that it's 14. Minus 3 equals 11. So this one is equal to 11, and that fits with our x we know is 9, so this one would be 9 plus 2 if we were to sub in 9. There for the variable, and we would get 11 there as well. All right, so we know x is 9, we know y is 14 for that one. How do we do this next one? Now we're talking about the angles, and they tell us that angle R is 120. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. 120. And S is 110. Well, if that's 110, then this is 110 too, because if you remember from an earlier video, we have a line of symmetry running right down the middle of a kite. Okay? And since it's a quadrilateral, we know that the whole thing adds up to 360. So we already know 3 of the 4 angles, and we can find the 4th one. We can say the top one is 120. Those 2 side ones are 110 and 110. And if it's got to add up to 360, it already adds up to 340. So for t, we could say 360 minus 340, or 20 degrees for t.